Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys. My name's Erik Pate. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Racing with Erik Pate. I'm your host, of course, Erik Pate. And today, of course, like I said, we're going to be talking some racing. The usual bullcrap, the topic over the last week or so, whatever the topic might have been, or if there was something controversial that happened. There was one thing that happened with Kyle Redmond, which I don't know what exactly happened, nor do I care. I didn't listen to the Xfinity race like I did the truck race because the Xfinity and truck race were happening right at the same time on the same radio network. So it was kind of hard just to pick one, and I just chose the one that my app would let me listen to, which was the truck race. So anyway, apparently Kyle Redmond hit another driver on the way down pit row, and he got fined for it. I kind of think it's kind of a bullcrap fine, but anyway, mainly last week the topic of discussion was the Kyle Larson waiver. A video I could have easily made a 10-minute video about. We're also going to go through the race results from both races at Worldwide Technology and Portland, at the race in Portland. Now, if you want to know why was an Xfinity race and truck race happening right at the same time, well, that was because Xfinity was going in Oregon. Of course, points of all three series. Top 10 in both Cup and trucks, and then top 12 in Xfinity. Our today's education topic is the fuel window. Like, what is the fuel window in NASCAR? When we do talk about it, we're going to look at 4 examples from 4 different types of tracks. We're going to look at a mile and a half, a short track, a road course. I was going to pick on last year's Sonoma race, but I couldn't get the graphic for it. All these were screenshots that I've edited to where we just look at the graphics for the fuel windows. And then my picks for the Sonoma race. Real quick, there was one guy that I picked, but I did not know he was not even going to be in the Cup race. But I guess I could use him for the Xfinity series since I don't pick people for Xfinity, but I think he's going to be a threat in that series. Well, 2 guys are. One of guys is actually on the list. Anyway, let's go. So, the main topic of discussion was the Kyle Larson waiver. What was the decision, you might ask? Kyle Larson was granted a playoff waiver. Now, due to him already having the 2 wins on the year, Larson already did what he had to do to get into the playoffs. The following was said by Elton Sarr, NASCAR Senior Vice President of Competition. This was, without a doubt, uncharted waters for us. We stayed the course. We had our internal meetings. We had more internal meetings. We continued to dialogue around it, and then the other part of it is in front of us was a race at Worldwide Technology Raceway that we are all getting prepared for. So again, the number one thing was to get the right decision. Take the time. We felt the time that it took was the right amount of time to get the right decision. That's what I found from the website I read it from, but ultimately he said that he did say something though regarding this decision. Now, other drivers might be like, oh, we can go racing like a dirt race or something in Arkansas and miss Sonoma this week. And no, he's not. They're going to deny you a waiver for that. Now, if you're racing in a pretty prestige, if you're going to miss a NASCAR, he basically, what he said after was, if you're going to miss a NASCAR race, to go race in the race that is more popular, they're going to let that slide, basically. It was what he later on said yesterday, was that he's going to, like, okay, so what I'm trying to say is like, if I was a NASCAR driver and I decided to miss the Coke 600 like Kyle Larson did, so then I could participate in the Indianapolis 500, he's going to let that slide. He's going to let that slide, and I still get to race for a championship in the NASCAR Cup Series. Because I decided, you know what, I'm going to go, I'd rather race in the Indianapolis 500 over the Coca-Cola 600. I'm still saying it's not right for Kyle Larson to ditch the Coke 600, a race he gets paid more to race in versus the but it's ultimately, though, it's just about every race car driver's in America's dream to participate in the Indy 500. And Indy 500 drivers, yeah, and even IndyCar drivers have came out and said what Kyle Larson did was incredible. And Kyle Larson, Kyle Larson, they all support Kyle Larson for ditching the Coke 600. I'm not saying the Coke 600, which was a race I was at 2 years ago, is a good idea. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying if you're going to race in a race, if you're going to ditch the Coke 600 to go race in the Indianapolis 500, which is way more popular, which is way more popular than the Indy 500, than the Coke 600, then yeah, I completely understand why. But they should still get a waiver. And Elton Sawyer said that people can ditch a NASCAR race to go race in big IndyCar races. Example, the Indy 500, which I completely understand. Now, I would still think it might be a good idea to, like, if one driver's going to pull off this double, I think so then drivers are not stressing wondering if they're going to miss the start of the Coke 600 because they were on their way back from the Indy 500. Honestly, I think we should put the Coke 600 on Memorial Day every year. Honestly, like everyone I know, well, not everyone I know, but a good majority of people probably have office jobs. And most of the time, offices are closed on Memorial Day. And I think it's a good idea to go ahead, and most people take off Memorial Day anyway, like myself. I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good idea to just go ahead and move the Coke 600 to Memorial Day itself. I like the idea. Now, that's just my opinion, and so then people can still race in the Indianapolis 500 and the Coke 600 in the same year. But they don't have to stress as much. Anyway, it's time for the Enjoy Illinois 300 race results. We're going to start off with 1st through 20th. Austin Cindric got his second career win. Denny Hamlin then his second, Brad Keselowski third. Tyler Reddick was fourth. Fifth was Joey Logano. Sixth was Austin Cindric. Seventh was Christopher Bell. Eighth was Carson Hocevar. Justin Haley ninth. Kyle Larson 10th. 11th was Todd Gibbs. 12th Ross Chastain. 13th Chase Elliott. 14th Chris Buescher. 15th William Byron. 16th Todd Gilliland. Chase Briscoe. 17th Daniel Suarez. 18th Zane Smith. 19th Ricky Stenhouse. 20th. 21st we got Bubba Wallace. 22nd Noah Gragson. 23rd Daniel Suarez. Ryan Blaney 24th. Michael McDowell 25th. Erik Jones 26th. John Hunter Nemechek 27th. And Alex Bowman 28th. Dang it, I accidentally put by paragraph on this, but it was, anyway. Ryan Preece 29th. Derek Kraus 30th. 31st Harrison Burton, Lajoie 32nd. Cody Ware 33rd. Martin Truex 34th. 35th Kyle Busch. And dead last was Josh Berry. The stages finished like this. Christopher Bell was first. Michael McDowell second. Ryan Blaney third. Austin Cindric fourth. Denny Hamlin fifth. William Byron sixth. Ty Gibbs 7th, Tyler Reddick 8th, 9th is Joey Logano, Chase Elliott is 10th. Stage 2 was Christopher Bell, Austin Cindric was 2nd, Ryan, who was eventually our race winner. We're going to talk about how he won that race actually in just a few minutes. Ryan Blaney 3rd, Chase Elliott 4th, Brad Keselowski 5th, 6th Joey Logano, 7th Chase Briscoe, 8th Carson Hocevar, 9th Austin Dillon, 10th. 10th was Denny Hamlin. The Toyota 200 results, which was our truck race this week. I decided to do that one first because that was I was told they started right at the same time. So for the sake of this video, the check flag was dropped in the Toyota 200 first. So we're going to do that one first. Corey Heim was our winner. Kristen Eckes 2nd, 3rd Nick Sanchez, 4th Ty Majeski, Lane Riggs 5th, Chase Purdy 6th, 7th Ben Rhodes, Stuart Friesen 8th. Andre Perez de Lara, 9th, Luke Van Haas, 10th, Kenna Gray, 11th, Daniel Dye. 12th, Ty Dillon. 13th, Dean Thompson. 14th. 15th, Tyler Ankrum. Lajoie 16th. Grandin Finger. 17th, Timmy Hill. 18th, Lawless Island. 19th. 20th, Matt Crafton. 21st, Brett Holmes. 22nd, Connor Mosack. 23rd, Matt Mills. Jake Garcia. 24th. Vincent Salas. 25th, Spencer Boyd. 26th, Keith McGee. 27th, Thad Moffitt. 28th, Bay Curry. 29th, 30th, Taylor Gray Mason Massey. 31st, Colby Howard. 32nd. Stages. Stage 1. Now for the stages, real quick. Stage 1's on the left side. Stage 2's on the right side. Ty Majeski first. Christian Eckes second. Nick Sanchez third. Stuart Friesen fourth. Corey Heim fifth. Dean Thompson sixth. Grandin Finger seventh. Grandin Finger seventh. Ben Rhodes eighth. Daniel Dye ninth. Tyler Gray 10th. Ty Majeski first. Christian Eckes was second. Nick Sanchez was third. As you can tell, both stages had the same top 3 in the same order. Ben Rhodes 4th. Corey Heim 5th. 6th was Grandin Finger. 7th, Tanner Gray. 8th, Taylor Gray. 9th, Chase Purdy. 10th was Ty Dillon. Our results for the Pacific Office Automation 147 that was done at over in Portland. Our Chicago Street Course winner from last year, Shane Van Gisbergen. Justin Allgaier 2nd. Sammy Smith 3rd. AJ Allmendinger 4th. Erik Jones 5th. Cole Custer 6th. Josh Williams 7th. Parker Kligerman 8th. 9th, Parker Retzlaff. 10th was Riley Hurst. Austin Hill was 11th. Josh Bilicki 12th. Sheldon Creed 13th. Ryan Sieg 14th. Austin Green 15th. Brendan Poole 16th. 17th, Ryan Ellis. 18th, Kyle Sieg. 19th, Jesse Love. Dang it. Yeah, it's okay. 20th, Blaine Perkins. Nathan Boyd. 21st, Garrett Smith. 22nd, Andre Castro. 23rd, Patrick Gallagher. 24th, Kyler Resman. 25th, Leland Honeyman. 26th, Ryan Truex. 27th. 28th, Tim Mayer. 29th, Logan Bearden. 30th was Jeremy Clements. 31st, Matt DiBenedetto. 32nd, Anthony Alfredo. 33rd, Haley Deegan. Sage Karam. 34th, Chandler Smith. 35th, Brendan Jones. 36th, Jed Burton. 37th, and Preston Pardis was 38th. Our stages: Justin Allgaier 1st, Ryan Hurst 2nd, 3rd, Sheldon Creed, Josh Bilicki 4th, Parker Kligerman 5th, Sammy Smith 6th, 7th, Cole Custer 8th, Ryan Truex 9th, Austin Hill, Sage Karam 10th. Stage 2. Now, all 3 of our races, the person who won Stage 1 also won Stage 2, which was Justin Allgaier. 2nd was Sheldon Creed. 3rd was Josh Bilicki. Cole Custer 4th. Shane Van Gisbergen 5th. Chandler Smith 6th. 7th, Riley Hurst. Sage Karam 8th. Sam Mayer 9th. Ed Jones 10th. Now, I decided to make things up because I normally do the Cup Series first, so why the hell not? I decided to do the Xfinity Series first. Cole Custer 475. Chandler Smith 457. Austin Hill 457. I gave Chandler Smith the edge because Chandler Smith has more stage wins. I'll explain my tiebreaker process in just a second because there was another tie we had to break. Justin Allgaier 452 points. Jesse Love 402. AJ Allmendinger 380. Riley Hurst 378. Sheldon Creed 354. Parker Kligerman 342. Sammy Smith 328. Ryan Sieg 308. Sam Mayer 305. Note, tied with Brendan Jones but gave the edge Mayer because Mayer had a win and Brendan Jones didn't. So there's another tie on our top points list here in just a few minutes that we're going to see in just a couple minutes, in probably less than a minute now. So how do I break these ties, you might ask? Is I look at who has, so first thing I do is who has the more wins. So, like, for example, Sam Mayer and Brendan Jones were tied at 305 points. But you guys notice I decided to put Sam Mayer on the list over Brendan Jones because Sam Mayer got the win at Texas a couple weeks ago. So, Now, Austin Hill and Chandler Smith have the same amount of wins in 2024. But I give the edge to Sim Mayer because the next thing I look at is stage wins. Now, after that, I look at more top 10s and more top 5s. And if we're still tired, I then go down each race result. I go down the previous race result. But I go, like the last race they ran, I go through the last race result. And then I give the edge to whoever finished highest. So that's going to be the process of me breaking ties. Truck Series points. Christian Eckes with 506. Corey Heim, 475. Nick Sanchez, 453. Ty Majeski, 442. Taylor Gray, 365. Lajoie, 357. Tyler Ankrum, 342. Ben Rhodes, 329. 9th, Tanner Gray, 321. 10th, Grant Enfinger, 319. I've said it before on this channel. I said it before in the podcast that when we go through our points and you see names bolded when we go through the points, that is because they are in the playoff. No, not in the playoffs. They have won this season. So, our Cup Series points. Denny Hamlin with 534. Kyle Larson with 513. Chase Elliott, 507. Martin Truex, 490. William Byron, 488. Tyler Reddick, 473. Ty Gibbs, 465. Christopher Bell, 437. Brad Keselowski, 437. And Alex Bowman, 417. Christopher Bell has 2 wins. Brad Keselowski has 1. So I give the edge to Bell. So, I mentioned earlier that we need to talk about some field windows here. Dang it, I just realized I probably should have had Worldwide Technologies field window on here, but we'll look it up in just a second. And we should have looked at 5 examples, but we're going to look at a short track one, we're going to look at a mile and a half one, a road course one, and a super speedway one. The field window is the amount of fuel a car can run on a fuel tank in a race. If not all, most drivers pit for fuel at the end of both stages usually. Depending on stage length, most drivers pit about halfway through the stages. In the last stage, most people break it up into 3 or 2 pits. So, again, let's look at these examples we have. I don't remember what order they're going to come in. Okay, so it looks like we're doing our short track one first. So, the stage lengths in this one are 125, 125, 250. Now, they can comfortably make it all the way through stage 1 without pitting. They will have to pit in stage 2, though. Like, without pitting in stage 1. But they would definitely need to pit in stage 2. They can top off or they can put top off at the stage 1 caution and make it all the way to stage 2. Now, they would definitely need to pit sometime in stage 3, even if you top it off at the end of stage 2. So, roughly doing the math, you have to pit with about 80 laps to go. Sorry, that was my watch you heard in the background, that ding. Messages, I'm getting my group chat's blowing up. Works group chat's blowing up, so. Anyway, our next one we're looking at is the road course. 38 laps. So, in this case, we can probably easily. Now, knowing most drivers, not only do you have to look at the fuel window, you might also want to look. Okay, I stand corrected. I was looking at the final stage part, but the fuel window is 22 to 24 laps. This is COTA's, Circuits of the Americas. Now, I'm taking this from races that has already been ran in 2024. Okay? So they can easily make it all the way done, all the way through stage 1 without pitting, assuming they don't pit. Now, if they top off, I would say it's a good idea to go ahead and top off so you don't have to pit before the end of stage 2. Now, at the end of stage 2, no matter what route you chose, decided to wait until up to stage 1 to fuel up or fuel up a little bit past the start of stage 2, you still have to and then chose to pit or chose to fuel up at the end of stage 2 and whatnot, and you don't choose to fill up like 7 laps in stage 2, that's about roughly halfway through stage 2. I'm trying to do the math here. You have to pit again. You have to pit again in the final stage, though, no matter what, because of this fuel window. So this is the Daytona 500s down here. This is this year's running of the Daytona 500. You have to pit in stage 1, during stage 1 and during stage 2 and during stage 3. So, like, you can pit 25 laps into stage 1 and have enough fuel to make it to the end. Same thing with stage 2. You can pit at the end of stage 1, pit about, 25 laps into stage 2. But you do have to pit at some point. And then most people would do that. We'll split the stages in half in this case. With all three of these, I think we can easily split the stages in half. Run 32 laps or 33 laps in stage 1. Pit. Same thing with this. At the pit, and then run to the end of the stage. Pit again. Same thing with stage 2. Run 33 laps. Pit for fuel. And then run to the end of the stage. And the caution comes out. Pit for fuel or tires. And then you can run roughly about 35 laps and make it comfortably. In the final stage, though, most people are gonna wait until like they're literally running dry, is because there's the you always want to be ready for the possibility of NASCAR overtime. Now, with the Daytona 500, that's always a possibility. Always a possibility. I've only seen out of all the races at Daytona I watched roughly about 14 races from Daytona. And only 4 of those have ended in regulation. With exclusion of the 2019 400 miler. Because that one was called. But all the others had to finish in overtime. A couple of them went into double overtime. Hell, I think last year's 500 went into triple. And then let's take a look at the last example I have. Mile and a half example. This is the Coca-Cola 600s. 100 laps, 100 laps, 100 laps, 100 laps. Now, this is from this year's. All these are from 2024's, by the way. As of course, you guys know, we didn't go all the way to lap 400 in the Daytona in the Coca-Cola 600. We only went to lap 249. But that's not the point. Now, most of the time, people will split these stages up. Now, you can probably pit like most of these drivers will probably pit like 30-something laps in the first 3 stages. And then I would say in the 4th stage, just like I said earlier, you probably want to try to run it dry for the possibility of overtime. So, earlier I mentioned something about Austin Cindric winning this race. Winning our last race. He won it on fuel. So sometimes these races, some of these races have to come down to fuel. So, and that's exactly what happened with Ryan Blaney. Ryan Blaney was on pace to win the race, was comfortably ahead, but he had to do some hard racing with Christopher Bell. Couldn't really save fuel. Well, what happened though was right when they got the white flag, Blaney ran out of gas. And they said that if Blaney pitted 1 lap later, he would have had enough gas to win the race. So Ryan Blaney ran out of gas to where Austin Cindric won the race, and unfortunately, Blaney did not even finish in top 20. Anyway, what's my picks for the Toyota Save Mart 350 this week? If you don't have Martin Truex in your lineup this week, you are crazy. This driver is there are 2 drivers on here you must put in your lineup. Even if one of them is a dark horse, Martin Truex is one of them. He is a 4-time Sonoma winner. You have to put him in your lineup. There is no reason why Martin Truex is not in your lineup this week. The next driver is the other you have to probably put in your lineup. And it's AJ Allmendinger. And all 3 of his wins in the Cup Series has been on road courses. And, okay, there's 3 drivers you want to put in your lineup. Chase Elliott, 7 of his 19 now, I think, 19 career wins came on road courses. So, you kind of want to put him in your lineup this week. Yeah, it's not one yet in the next gen car on road course, so. Chris Buescher, I have a feeling, was the runner-up in this race 2 years ago. So, you might want to put him in your lineup. The last three are question marks, but I'm not going to but just as long as you have Elliott, Allmendinger, and Truex in your lineup. Christopher Bell, a fourth of his wins, well, two of his wins, of his 8 wins, came on road courses. And then Daniel Suarez got his first win in 2022 at Sonoma. And then I think half of his wins in the Xfinity Series were on road courses, and I just have a feeling that that this might be a good opportunity for Austin Cindric to win 2 races in a row. So those are my picks for Sonoma, and thank you for letting me talk racing with you guys. My name's Eric Pates. Don't know who hates. Check flags in the air. See you guys later.